Hey guys, Doug the Retirement Guy here. Got something a little different for you this week. How we bought our new car without breaking the bank. We go through this quite often. We budget everything out, and just something pops up, something happens that you just need to spend some money. And I wasn't ready to do this, I didn't have it planned. So I want to share with you how we did in buying a new car without breaking our bank. So first off, give you a little bit of background of this. My wife's car is hit 9 years old. It's a Ford Explorer 2016, 48,000 miles onto it, which basically is like she drives 5,300 miles a year. Now, there are some issues with the car, which is why I said, yeah, probably time that we should start looking at replacing it. We've had to replace the battery numerous times. We've have an engine sensor that costs us thousands of dollars to replace. There were some exterior window things that actually came under a recall, but we ended up paying for it anyways. And we had a dash cracking onto it. So it was one of those situations, it's time to make a change. Now, my wife, she is dying. She loves the Hyundai Santa Fe 2025. When this car came out, she fell in love with it. She's had her eye on it all the way through. We went out and took it for a test drive, and I came back and I said, wow, I can fit in the car. I enjoy the car. It's more comfortable, smaller space for the garage. It was phenomenal. What I didn't like about it was the $48,000 I had to come up with. So the real problem was not the car. The problem was, how do I pay for it? So when we did that, I said, let's take a look at all of our options available to us. So I asked the dealer, how much trade-in can you give us? And he says, we can give you $12,500 trade-in for your car, which basically meant I'm going to have to come up with about $35,000 out of my pocket. Well, you come back and he says, you can do the trade-in and we can finance your car at 3.5% or $645 a month, which is probably how I ended up doing it. It's how we end up buying a lot of cars. But I really, in retirement, I'm like, I don't want a payment. I don't want to have this issue. The other option he throws at me is you could trade your car in and you could lease it for only $475. Well, I'm not real big on leasing because, what do you have at the end of it all? So the real question came into is what to do. And so I slept on it and came back and said, still, what do we do? How do we make this work? And I came up with a plan. Use your assets. You tell everybody what to do with their money. And I'm like, why don't you use your assets? So I got on the phone, made a few phone calls, started checking things out, and found out that a Explorer through Carvana was worth $14,400. I was impressed with that. A little more money than what the dealer would do. When I called the dealer back, I said, we're interested in this car. What can we really do? What's the fine print of it all? The dealer kind of come back and said, look, if you don't want to finance it, you don't want to put money down, we have a program, 0 down, 10,000 miles a year. I can do the car for $590 a month for 36 months. Well, that got my brain really thinking, and I started to put together an even better plan, and that plan came into this. If I take the 14.4 and invest it, and I would take and put it into ULTY and YMAX, both at respectable $6.18 and $13.40 a share. And if I would take only $14,000 of it, and there's a reason for this, I took $14,000, split it between both of them, we would get $107 and $78 a week, or a total of $743 a month just from dividends only. So what I thought is, if I keep that $400 on the sideline, if for some reason either one of these two don't pay their average dividend, it goes down a little bit or something happens in the market, I still have $400 to make up for any difference that would come about. Then when I took and said, do the rest of the math, the lease payment is $590. My car insurance is only going to be $95, which we normally have budgeted and paid for anyways. Our total would only be $685. That means each month I am saving or creating $58.85 of additional cash from my $14,000 investment, and I still have the $400 on the sideline. I'm like, this is making complete sense. Everything's looking proper. Even if I have a little bit of dividend drop off, I still have $58 coming in to make up the difference, plus the $400 savings. I could not believe that doing this in the proper way would make sense. So we ended up doing it right out. I said, let's go ahead. We sold the car to Carvana, the simplest and easiest thing I've ever done in my life in selling a car. They checked it out, they gave us a check, they drove off, we were done. We took the money and we invested into the ULTY and the YMAX. And then we went to the dealership and said, give me the car. We leased the new car, no money down. We just signed the documents, handed the keys, we drove off. It was the simplest car buying experience I've ever had. Now my wife, who's excited and ecstatic about driving her car, is phenomenal and happy. And as we always say, happy wife, happy life. We're both loving the car. So let me give you an update of the plan. So the fund started with $14,400, and as of 7/15, the fund has $14,824. That means in only 2 weeks, we're already up $424 or 3.03%. And the dividends are still set to pay the lease payment. That's put off to the side. So the car that you always buy and the valuation of it starts dropping the minute you drive off the showroom, I still have $14,000 that's gaining in value, and a lease car that's all set, done, dialed in. So guys, I think this was a unique way, and I wanted to share it with everybody, how you can use and you constantly think how to use your money wisely, especially using the funds that we showed you. So guys, this is Doug, the retirement guy. I hope you like this quick little video, give you kind of some different insight of how to spend money. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button and also leave us any comments. Everything helps the channel grow, and we'll catch you at the next video.